in a cage. Ink on my fingers looks like my past. Chasing the pills, the stories won't last. Whatnot, whatnot, whatnot. Let's make a deal.
Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's Whatnot, Why Not Day. Let's get started because we've got a big panel this week. So we're going to bring them in one at a time. First, a returning co-host, Mr. Pilsner Props.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing?
And a longtime co-host, Mr. Punisher Ryder.
Hello, my friends.
Hey. And we've got Skippin' Stones.
Hello, hello.
And we've got some new people this week. We've got Joey D.
Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you.
We've got Fall City Comics.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
And we've got Lions Keep.
Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone gets a PSA 11 this year.
Oh, we lost thing. You'll probably have to kick back in. Yeah, we wanted to bring in, there he is.
Sorry about that.
We wanted to bring, no worries. We wanted to bring definitely some new voices to Whatnot, Why Not, but we also wanted a new seller on Whatnot. So Fall City Comics, you seem to be a new seller, right? You're just starting out on Whatnot?
Yeah, I started probably October on Whatnot.
Oh, okay. So you're not like really new.
Not brand new, but as far as like sales and things go, still pretty new.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, again, we wanted to bring that in. Joey does Whatnot helping. He helps sellers out on Whatnot, shows them how to do things. It's really cool. So that was just a natural fit. And we also brought in Lions Keep, who's another one of the New Jersey crazy crew. And thankfully you didn't bring Eggy or Drew.
No.
Yeah, but you got Brooklyn, old time Brooklyn. Forget about it here, too.
All right, so let's get started. I hope everyone had a great New Year, had an awesome time. Yeah, so the very first thing that we've got this week is the first topic. And what did I put it as? Jeez, I'm terrible.
Slabs.
Was it? Yes, it was Slabs on Whatnot. Has anybody ever got even close to correct or FMV numbers doing slabs, or is it just a waste of time?
I don't send in slabs at all.
Okay.
I think the market has changed. When I started on the platform about 2 years ago, slabs were really close to fair market value, but over time they have really started to squeeze down to what the raw book would cost almost. I just think it's kind of a sign of the times right now.
Yeah, I mean, also, you got to look at it in perspective, the way things were going during COVID, what happened, and then when they got back to their median, people were paying. I saw somebody pay $15,000 for a Hulk 181.70. All right, and now you take a look at it, and the price is so way down. People are really aggravated with the way the market is going.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Punisher, do you sell slabs on your shows?
It depends. No secret. When I buy myself a big book, I like to get it in a slab, just so I'm guaranteed that it's attached, it's complete. I know what I'm getting, so there's no that. But that's just me. I pretty much do not buy slabs on Whatnot. I pretty much stick to raw books. I pretty much, if I buy my slabs, they're going to be on eBay. Because I feel like where you can get a lot of deals on whatnot, people want too much for slabs, it seems like, but you're also talking about getting that fair market value. So if you have a high grade, you want to get that fair market value. So it's a tough thing because whatnot's really a place of, it's almost like a discount center where people are looking for those deals.
Yeah, everybody wants a bargain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you take a look at where Whatnot is striding to, I mean, you got all those big people on that are doing garage storage units and pallets and all that other stuff. And the more and more, I've looked on Whatnot. I go on Whatnot every night and I just patrol. And within the last 6 months, I've seen over 5,000 new sellers on Whatnot.
Wow. All
Yeah,
within
it is
comics
flooded.
or something else?
Yeah, and you see the same thing. They're sitting there, either their books are way too high or they're just sitting there and using it more for a social hour than a business.
yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Well, Skippin, I know you don't sell slabs. I don't think your uncle had any, did he?
What was that? I don't think they were even a thing when he was alive. And I honestly don't know that he would have been hip on them, to be honest with you. Maybe as a seller, he might have ventured into them, but no, he was strictly kind of old school when it came to that. But I have purchased slabs, and I have won slabs as a buyer, and I don't think I've ever paid more than $15 for a slab.
Okay. Under slab pricing.
So-
Okay.
So from that aspect of it, and I've seen a number of sellers, especially like newer sellers, selling them for $3-5, right? And they're books that should have sold for more, even without being graded, right?
Mhm.
And so I've put I think I bought one from Punisher that was like $25 or something like that. But on average, they're, and I'm saving those towards the end, and what I'll do is use them for giveaways when the time is right. That's why I purchased them, was as giveaway items for like maybe bigger shows, promotion, buyer giveaway kind of things. But I do watch a lot of streamers, and I noticed over Christmas that I must have seen like 20 new sellers pop on between Christmas and New Year's onto Whatnot, selling comics, including slabs, and they are asking a lot of money. Some of them are just off the hook with what they're asking for. And the only reason why I knew that they were off the hook were because they were books that I've sold myself. And the people have came back and told me that, oh, I got it graded and it's worth this, or in my stream, it was mentioned that that book is worth X amount of dollars graded in a 9 point or better, right? And so when I see them, and one of them, for instance, was an omega-3, and his omega-3 was graded at a 7 point something, I can't remember, and he was asking over $500 for it. Well, I know omega-3 at this point, right? Because I've sold like 60 copies, and I certainly know that omega-3 shouldn't go for that much, especially not on a forum that's meant for discounts and deals. And needless to say, it didn't sell. So I think selling slabs is probably a hard deal on Whatnot. And another thing I found out, I watched recently, was that there is a person on Whatnot, and I don't know if they're still on Whatnot. I know that they've been reported for breaking the seal and changing the books out of the slabs.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, and so there's that. But just because they're gone today, because I have a person that has been being a thorn in my side. He's back again under a new seller's name and doing the same thing again. Not that particular topic of what we're talking about, but he was kicked off, and by Friday he was back on under another seller name.
Yep.
So just because they're off today doesn't mean they're off tomorrow. So if you are buying them, make sure you're buying them from somebody reputable. Especially if you're spending any kind of money. And that he also, the same guy also was selling the books on Whatnot. Is also on eBay.
Okay. Fall City, even though you're new to selling, do you try, or do you even have slabs that you put up for sale?
I have a handful of slabs that I've attempted to sell. A lot of stuff I've bought and tried to flip, of course. I have had no luck getting anywhere close to a comfortable number to get rid of them. I've sold a few of them elsewhere, but I think Whatnot as a whole is more of a platform not to get FMV on almost anything, really. It's not so much about getting FMV; it's about moving product quickly. And it's always, I feel like on Whatnot, a lot of stuff's going to be sold for a lot less, but you also have the ability to sell, 100 books in an hour, whereas if you list them somewhere else, it could take, days, weeks, months even to get FMV. So it kind of comes down to a thing where or do you want to get FMV in, 2 or 3 weeks, or do you want to move it now so you can bring in more inventory? Because you can, turn 100 books in a day versus 100 books in a month or longer. So I think it's hard to get FMV on really anything on Whatnot, just based on the model that it has, or the crowd it's created, I should say.
Okay. Mr. Soder, what do you sell? Well, I know you sell some slabs, but most of the time you don't. What's your experience with it?
It's horrible for me on Whatnot. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna, when I start going through my inventory, when I get through the storage unit, that stuff that's going to be going, I'm going to try Instagram or something like that for those, because there's no way in hell I'm going to take that big of a loss.
Yeah. Hey, Matt. I agree. Lionskeep brought it up to begin with, but are you seeing much? Are you able to push them? Because I seem to be. Whatnot isn't the place for me for slabs. IG has always been the place that I do best, get the most FMV closest, and you can do a show that way too.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't sell slabs on there anymore. I have some cheaper slabs that I just do for buyers giveaways now.
Mr. Lyons?
Really, when it comes to slabs, I'm now just picking them up for my personal collection. I have yet to do an Instagram show. Maybe one day, but not today. I do try to have an event at least once a year. Last year it was called Slabtober. I kind of stole the Whatnot name for it, or Slabuary or something along those lines. They kind of accumulate from collections, and if I can get them at a good enough price, I don't mind starting them at $1. But I don't think that the Whatnot audience is coming to look for them. They want the raw books.
Is it? Are you seeing that? Is it everyone's perception that they're getting the raw books so they can flip, or is it more so that they have the collector can get the raw book and get it cheaper and then try to sell it once they grade it?
I think it's the second one. So much has come out on how to run your t-shirt press and how to clean. I think people are willing to try, especially if it's a, let's say, moderate book, like, Omega 3, great example. if you do it wrong, you're not going to go broke doing it. I wouldn't test a newbie's skills on anything from the golden age.
Yeah, that's true.
Good advice.
Though, yeah, those paper so brittle, so much, but so much easier to play with when you work on golden, because they just a lot sturdier. Okay. As I said, I think Instagram and eBay are the places. I know it's a what not, why not show, but eBay I think is probably the best. I think Instagram. Well, actually, sorry, I think Instagram is the best that I've found. Just simply because you don't need to show so many pictures. Where Whatnot benefits a raw book because it is live. A slab, as Punisher said, it is what it is. So, all right. Let's move into the second topic: taxes and filing. Everybody loves the tax man. Let's start at the top with Pilsner, and we'll go around the horn. What do you do for the taxes? How do you deal with your accountant? How do you deal with everything?
I didn't. I did not get a notice for a 1099K, and I skipped it last time. And this year I didn't sell enough to qualify, so lucky me.
Punisher?
I'm actually going to pass my turn to Skipping Stones because Skipping Stones has a background in this. And when we talked about this before, I would like to hear her expertise on it. So I'm going to skip my turn to Skipping.
All right, Skipping.
So, when it comes to taxes, you want to obviously keep all your receipts and compile them for your tax person, assuming that you're going to have a tax person. But even if you don't, you want it in case you get audited, you want to have those receipts. You keep your receipts for your mileage. Every time you go to the post office, you keep your logging. If you go get books, if you go get supplies, you keep your receipts for your supplies. You keep everything and write as much off. Your giveaways, those are all write-offs. Your internet, your streaming, your phone, your electronics, everything you purchase and use, including a portion of your home, is tax write-offable if you're streaming from your home. So obviously you're going to want to talk with your tax person, because although I do have a background in doing business accounting, that the laws have changed since I was doing it as a career. But some of the stuff still applies. A lot of it still applies. Almost everything you do business-wise is write-offable, but you've got to document it. You know, everything, postage, all of it, including your fees that you pay Whatnot, not only for the cost of the sale, but the fees that you pay for the shipping fees, the fees that the transfer of money fees, all of that. Every bit of that is tax deductible. And if you do it right, then you don't have much, if any, of a tax obligation. But you've got to make sure you're doing your deductions. You got to make sure you're doing your write-offs, all of it. It's so important. It makes the world a difference if you are keeping your mileage, if you are keeping your giveaway records. You know, the value of the item, even though it may not be what you pay for it. Like say you got the giveaway it's worth $100, right? That should be tax write-offable for $100 as a giveaway. You gave it away. It's a promotional. It falls under the promotions, and that's one of the reasons why I do a lot of giveaways, is to minimize some of that deduction, because it is a deduction and it gives it to the audience instead of the IRS. And while we need the money. The IRS, the government needs the money to operate. And I'm not trying to say screw the government, but sometimes I'd rather give the money back to the little guy directly than in the big scheme of things, to say it as politically correct as I can. But if you haven't done taxes, I highly encourage you to do your taxes the first time with a professional accountant that understands small business and understands what we're doing on here.
Can I add a couple things now? I want to chime back in.
Absolutely.
Couple things you need to remember that, because I know Skip, first of all, you have to pay yourself for your time. That is something else that you need to do. Second thing is whatever stock you have left that you plan on selling is also tax rateable. You can write that off too, as stock is a business. You still have old stock. Everything you're going to sell. So I'm saying is there's a thing on the tax thing where it says personal keep and old stock. It's still your business supplies. That's why, like, when I redid my whole room, this is all tax write-off and everything like that. So it's important, but important. I know a lot of people miss this, is you are an employee of your own business. You got to pay yourself for your time. Your time is value. Your time is money. That's why I said earlier, is it a social thing, or are you running a business when you're streaming? Do you want to just sit there and chat with people and don't give a shit about selling books, or do you want to make money? That's where you've got to understand where you're at.
I got a question. All right. I don't have my LLC. I never did get one. I do this on a personal basis. So, I mean, is there anything different that I have to do with the taxes or anything like that? I mean, do I get held more accountable for not having an LLC?
I don't have an LLC either.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
You file as an individual. It's like under your personal taxes, operating in a sole proprietor business.
Okay. Because now everything that I've purchased on Whatnot is a write-off, tax-wise, right?
It is if it's for your business.
Yeah, it's always for the business.
Right? Yes, that everything you purchase on Whatnot or any other platform, even if it's from a garage sale, from any of the other forums where maybe you don't have a receipt, all you do is you write down maybe the address of where you bought it and the day and the amount you paid, even if it was a cash sale from an individual. Okay? And you log it. You just keep a notebook and you log it. And that is equivalent to a receipt as if it was purchased, say, at the local comic book store or on Whatnot, where you would have a physical receipt. You just write it down, and that's your receipt. And a lot of times when I'm doing now on Whatnot, I have done my gemstones, right? Back in the beginning. And I will be returning to that forum as the comics fade away, unless I decide to pick up comics through other avenues. But if you're doing that, you just document, and I buy storage units as well, and you document the cost of the storage, the cost of all the expenses that are involved, whether it's the dumping fees, everything from your ink pens to your staples to your Post-it pads. You keep everything. And no, it doesn't matter if you got your a pack of boards and bags from a yard sale. You document it, right? You document your gas that it took you to drive to that yard sale and the mileage. If you don't even get anything, but you're out searching for it, you document that time. You document your mileage. You document your gas that you spent right? All of that. And normally the gas and the mileage, and because you normally do gas, mileage, wear and tear, and you have the choice to choose the physical amount of money you spend on gas, or you get the general for the mileage, right? Which it doesn't really matter. It works out to be about the same in my experience. But Punisher's right, and I overlooked that. You do want to document your time, but when you're documenting your time and you're paying yourself as an expense, that falls under a different line than it would be if you're not. But it works itself out, right? And this is why I say, if you haven't done your taxes before, if you're not experienced with it, the first time, pay for the accountant. That the fee in and of itself is write-offable for that tax service. And learn, if you find yourself one that's not like an H&R Block or a known, or you know what I mean, if you find a private CPA that does taxes, a lot of times they will tell you what you need to be collecting, what they're doing. And then you can take a look at the write-offs in the printout, the 27 pages or whatever that you're going to end up getting printed out. And then that's going to help you for next year as far as doing your own taxes. So you'll know what to put, the dollar amounts to put in for each line, right? So maybe then next year you don't need to, especially if you're not doing anything too complicated. Comic books is not too complicated. It's not like you're doing, you know, a major thing. But it's important to know what you need to write off. So you keep the receipts and you keep the log. And something I haven't done as well as I should have, but I've got the stack of the shoebox, which is now not a shoebox. It's now became a short white box of that I put comics in, of receipts and documents. So it's going to take me probably a month of Sundays to do the math. But if you were to keep a spreadsheet and code everything, you know, give it a code, then you'll be able to do it within probably about an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question for you.
If you don't mind, just one comment on this one. Since my day job, I do spreadsheets all day long. I love everything you said about keeping the receipts and stuff. I would say that day, put the recording of your expenses in your spreadsheet. Cost of goods sold, mileage, everything. Because you will forget in 8 months. You'll forget that you drove, 300 miles to pick up somewhere. You'll forget what you had to buy extra, bags and boards. You will forget all of that stuff, or the receipt will be gone. Do it that day. It'll take you 5 minutes as opposed to a weekend.
And take a picture of your receipt as well.
Okay, so my question is that I bought a collection, a 6,000 book collection for cash.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I go about with that?
That is cost of goods. 6,000.
Exactly the same thing as what I was saying about a yard sale. You write it down or enter it into your spreadsheet, right? You document it. And if you have the address of where you bought it from, the person's address, whatever, you put that in there just as an extra little bit. But if you don't, maybe the cross street or whatever, but you put it in on the spreadsheet, or you keep a notebook, whichever way you prefer to do it. And I do agree, put it in right away so you're not going to do what I have to do, because I just toss shit in a box. Even though I knew better, I was being lazy about it. And if you're traveling more than 150 miles from home, your food, that's also tax write-offable. Just saying. If you're meeting with someone to have a business lunch and you're talking business, that's tax write-offable.
One more thing, you can pay your kids too. You can pay them for their IRA or a Roth IRA, and they don't have to pay taxes on that income. Now, I'm not a CPA. Talk to one first, please. But this is something.
Same thing about conventions. I don't know how many of you guys have done conventions, but my hotel, because it's work, it's all work related. I know Flat travels to a bunch of conventions. You know, he's working, even though he's there doing it, he's working too. So if you're setting up a convention, you got a booth, you got all that. That's something very important to make sure you have all that, because you'll see it when I did TurboTax. I do my own, but because I've been doing taxes for a while. But like when I first went in there, I was like flabbergasted when I was like, I had the numbers in the wrong, and then I decided to pay the specialist last year to walk me through it. Is like $60 extra. And they're like, you put it in the wrong section, put it in this section. And I was like, oh my God, like, wow, you can write this off. This is what, oh, I got this receipt. I got this receipt. And it starts going down quickly. And you're like, wow, like you see a major difference. Now it'd be easier, but everything matters. Pens, post-it notes, going mileage, food, travel, conventions,
What if you're going?
hotels,
What if you're going
everything.
to conventions to purchase, not necessarily to set up, because you're still buying inventory.
Correct.
Yes. If you're
So
doing it for,
the flight and everything else, you can write off too.
Yeah.
absolutely. It's travel expenses.
Correct.
Rich is going to more conventions this year. It sounds like.
And when you see that, it's part of your. We all have inventory that we didn't sell that we're still. I'm sure we still got a bunch of us. Everybody in here, except Pilsner, he doesn't have anything. Probably have a bunch of short boxes or long boxes full of comics that we haven't sold yet.
I don't sell. All I have is inventory piled up.
That's inventory we have. You know what I mean? Still old stock.
Yeah.
For the business.
Okay. Fall City, let's hear your take on it.
First off, so glad I'm here to hear all this, because this is like tax university for learning what to do and whatnot, which is fantastic. Skip, and thanks for all your knowledge for sure. Someone, when we first started, had mentioned they didn't make enough. What is the threshold for that on whatnot?
Pilsner is a poor man. Don't listen to him.
Well, no, so that's a federal thing. It doesn't have anything to do with whatnot. It applies to any additional income. It used to be 20 grand, 600 sales or something. They were trying to push it down to a $600 mandatory reporting limit. That got kicked out. So I never hit 20 grand on whatnot. I would run $5 mystery shows once a month or whatever. So I never
He
hit the
gets SNAP
threshold.
benefits for comics.
I have a good job at a huge company, Dick. But
hey, I can't help you couldn't buy comics in October.
You fucking guys who drive around Northrop Grumman Chevy love truck still. I don't want to hear it. But no, the reporting, additional income reporting is $20,000, 600 sales. But whatnot, you'd have to check. I don't know if they're reporting a show as a single sale or if they're reporting it as individual items. But any of the outlets, whether it be eBay, Macari, whatnot, whatever, should send you a 1099K if you've hit the reporting threshold.
Yeah, any week now if you've been a seller for a while.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, I received a notice from whatnot that I may receive something, so I didn't know. At my day job, I know we
You
get
have to find it. You have to go get it.
Yeah,
They don't.
but
They're not going to make it easy on you, are they?
no, in eBay does not either. They'll send you a notice that they're going to release them. You go to you dig around your accounting, you hit the thing, and it'll tell you no documents here, or boop, download, and that's all you got to do.
May I answer a question that the chat has asked?
Sure.
About the address? The reason why you put the address in, it's just for a verification for the IRS should you get audited. And then you can just say, well, we met at this park. We met at this location. If you have the person's first name or even the first and last name, it's just an added document. My suggestion is if you're pulling cash out to go purchase, say, $600 worth of books, you keep your receipt from your withdrawal as part of that receipt document for that day. If you're going out buying yard sale or going to yard sales and you're pulling cash out to buy stuff for the yard sales for inventory, you keep that receipt from your with cash withdraw and you do it. It's just an extra step to help validate to the IRS should you get audited. Nothing more.
It's the old line: cross your T's and dot your I's.
Exactly. That's
And
all.
hold
But if
your-
but if
hold
you're
your-
if Pilsner
cover your
ever
ass.
asks you to go to a park, call the FBI.
I don't know, man. I
Or
really fuck
OnlyFans,
with you,
whichever
Chris.
you choose.
That's my other stream.
Mr. Soder Pop, what do you guys do for
Well,
taxes?
Mel's an accountant, so she does all of ours, and everything Skipping Stone says. I didn't know about the convention or the mileage part, so that's something we're going to start doing this year. But yeah, that's crazy. There's so many write-offs you can do, and I made way more, like quadruple what I made in 2024, in 2025. So we're gonna have to write off every damn penny that we can just to make sure that I don't want to have to pay anything.
Yeah,
That's
if you
because you're
do,
awesome.
if you
We're
do,
trying.
I've done not only for my own, like my ex-husband, he owned his own business, but if you do it right, you will have no tax obligation.
Yeah, Mel pulled that
You
off
know.
last year, and we were lucky. But like I said, we well over quadrupled what we made in 2024 and 2025. So
Yeah,
kept most of the receipts, but even some of the convention buys we didn't do. But I know I have the dates because I took pictures and like posted them and stuff like that of some of the purchases we got, and some of it was done with credit card and some of it was with check. So you can
yeah,
copy, take a picture of that or for verification, or the go to your
exactly.
card statement and. But I like the spreadsheet idea, and maybe she's already doing that. Like I said, she's an accountant; she handles all that. But I know
She's
we
doing
didn't do
it.
mileage or anything. But
Yeah, definitely do your mileage. Your mileage really adds up, and expenses. Like I said, even your food. If you're traveling away from your home, and you're not, even if you're going to be home at night, but you're traveling a full day, definitely um, be documenting the food, any expenses that you take. And I don't know why I've got so much feedback. I'm sorry.
No, it's feeding back in Richard. I just muted him. It's okay.
I would
Oh,
think
okay.
the simple rule of thumb here is anything, and I mean anything, that goes into
Anything.
your show, whether it's books, travel, food,
Pack of gum.
pack of gum, whatever it is,
Yeah, if you buy
write that off.
tripods, book stands, I mean, you really need to think about what you're buying for your setup.
And
I
Yeah.
write off
electricity, et cetera, for
Advil.
your house.
I write off Advil from dealing with Punisher. Fucking shows.
Pepto-Bismol, here we go.
So here's the question for me. It said I did 30,000 in sales last year. So what I'm hearing is that somewhere along the line, I know I spent a lot of that money. I don't know how much of it was, but I should really, really go back and get every single item that I purchased on Whatnot and
Well, yeah,
eBay.
Joey, because you bought inventory and you bought
Yeah.
bags and boards and tape and stickies and Geminis.
Yes.
Without a
And-
doubt. Even if you had to buy clothing for your shows, like for what you're going to wear.
Pajama pants.
There you go.
Well,
I got a lot of those.
The printer
That
we're
is
using
tax
for the
write-offable
Panelist,
too. If you have to get your hands done or moisten your skin or whatever, anything to make that you use to make yourself look presentable, right? For the sales, all of that's tax write-offable.
Presentable for me, that ain't never gonna happen.
Now, I want to say something
I'm just
unique
saying.
about Joey.
No.
I think Joey's in a unique situation with his because he also spends a lot of time on Whatnot helping other sellers and helping people. So he spends a lot of his time not selling, but helping other people and almost what 2 or 3 times a week, Joey?
No, one
Two
time.
shows on Thursday.
No, I only do one show now, and it's basically about 2 hours.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
2 hours, 52 times a week. You've got to pay yourself for that time.
Yes, and that is tax write-offable, just like so is this.
How do you
This
determine,
time here,
how do you determine
we
the
are
time?
we're doing it to help
Well,
other
hold on.
sellers and
Hold
help,
on.
and it's all business related.
I've got a question here, but and it pertains to this, and I think this is probably where Joey's
Yeah.
not quite getting it, is the fact of if you're doing it as a sole proprietorship, I don't think you can pay yourself and use that, because if it's an LLC, you can.
No,
But-
you can. You
No,
can
you
as a
can't as a
trust-
sole proprietor. You
Wouldn't that,
absolutely.
but wouldn't that now count as income you have to report though?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, but it writes itself off, right? Because you're doing it as an expense. It is your time, and yes, but are you earning any money doing this right now? I'm
No.
not.
No, I
But
don't.
it's costing me time. It's
It has to
costing
be in
me
the right
time.
category. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying is you're not putting it in as revenue. You're putting it as an expense, and that's where you're going to be able to write it off. That's what we're trying to say.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, because our time is valuable. And it
And
does
like in
have
Joey's-
a monetary value. So even though we're not getting paid to do this, this is part of the business. It is also promoting our businesses as well as helping others. And that is kind of under the volunteer aspect of it. But whatever you determine your dollar amount is worth per hour, within reason. I mean, you can't sit there and say, well, I'm worth $1,000 an hour, and you don't make $1,000 an hour. But if you were to sit there and say $150 an hour is your staple for what you should be making, and that is a reasonable amount. That is a reasonable write-off for each hour that we spend doing this.
Yeah.
I have a question. What
Right.
about modding?
That I would think.
What do you think
that-
about that?
I would say if they are using it if they have a business such as you, and you are doing it you not only are you promoting your business, but you're doing it to search for inventory, I would say it probably does fall under it. Yeah,
Punish
absolutely.
yourself, promote? I would never.
All right.
No.
So another thing is that in every single show I do on Thursday in the Q&A, I state definitely to them that I am not contracted by Whatnot. I don't get paid by Whatnot. I don't accept anything on this show. It's all done, pro bono. It's all free. So they know that I'm not getting paid by Whatnot. Whatnot doesn't even know I do the shows.
Oh, that's
It's no different than
I
a
don't think
law
they
firm
know what-
doing stuff pro bono and writing it off.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll figure it out. If I need any help, I know where to go. Skipping stones.
Yeah. Well, Lions Keep. What have you got for since you seem to be you've been probably doing Whatnot the longest here.
Oh wow! I didn't think I was long in the tooth.
I'm 5 years in.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget, Joey's old.
I
Here
know.
we go. Here we go. I took the picture of the Last Supper.
What's the question, Flat?
Oh, it was just what do you do for your tax stuff?
Oh, I have a spreadsheet, and I really organize this. I'm going to list it here because I don't know how to type it all for everybody. But what was the purchase price? What were the materials and supplies? So that's your bags and boards and boxes and stuff like that. Hey, if you are doing grading fees are right off, as well as your CGC membership. Any equipment purchases, so that'd be like your printer and the printer paper and things like that. Postage, advertising and promotions. I keep track of theft or damage just in case I go to a show. It happens. And then there's mileage. There is also, if you use Other platforms, sometimes, at least one of them, will take your taxes for you because they're being beneficial, but you should record how much was their share. And also, like, if you guys donate any of your inventory to like the local school, like the local school here has a comic book club, I give them all the kid-friendly ones at the end of the year. That's a charity donation.
Okay.
And he's right about that too.
Yep.
So are
just
you
saying.
using like CLZ pricing to calculate your donation amount?
Not really on a book. They will write a letter back to you that's saying, thank you very much for the donation. We've evaluated it at XYZ. And I just make sure that I keep those letters.
So,
And that letter comes from the school, gives you that when you
Yes.
when you donate them.
In my case, it would come from school. But like if you donate to Purple Heart clothes or things like that, they leave the door tag for you. It's the same sort of receipt.
Yeah, see, that's the nice thing about with you guys in America. You can do the receipts and the whatever. In Canada, we don't get that. It has to be an actual nonprofit. It can't be it has to be an actual charity, not a nonprofit or anything to get to do those write-offs, which is just an annoyance. And by the way, I don't do any of this because I'm Canadian. We've got stupid Canadian tax laws that you guys don't even want to get into.
When we talk about time as an expense, do not forget about your packing time. We all know that how much time that takes to pack from shows. Also include that in your time.
Well, I was gonna
Definitely.
add to that because you buy a collection, you have the bag and board. Like these are all things that are
Anytime.
huge time
Anytime.
sucks that I think that are easily forgotten. I don't know how many
Anytime.
nights I bagged and boarded just because I had books.
Anytime.
but
No matter what you're doing, anything you're doing that's business related, anything you're doing is a time. You just what I would suggest and what I'm doing going forward is documenting every hour that from the time I get up from out of bed and I start doing something that has to do with Skip and Stones, I document that time and I'm keeping it on a spreadsheet, and I'll do a monthly report out, and then the monthly report out turns into a quarterly report out, and the quarterly turns out into an annual report out. And then you just file your taxes accordingly.
Are you including the time when you were sleeping?
Yes, because it was promoting and I was streaming. It was 45 minutes of my life that I was dreaming. And yes, absolutely, it's a write-off because I was streaming. No, I probably won't do that. Just because, if you don't know, I went live at 3:00 in the morning sleeping. Don't sleep with your phone, friend.
Don't worry, I was there.
6,000 book collection. You really don't want to sit there and rebag and board 6,000 books.
Try 160,000.
No,
But
no,
do you if you can write off all the materials and the time? Because that would buy you so much write-off.
Yeah, I might start doing that.
Right? I'm just thinking because that's time that you can document, quotes, air quotes, right? In your off time, which will increase the presentation of the product, and you can write it all off. It might not be a terrible idea, depending on the book. If it's all you got 5,990 Gen X books, maybe not, but
no, that's a very valid point, and that's something that's going to be coming. Because I would much rather not pay the IRS.
Any other questions? Oh, sorry.
So my next question is going to be: is that I actually catalog everything into CLZ? Can I use that as my write-off point on the pricing?
I suspect you could. The problem is that you need to record it for when you enter it, because
It
Our
has dates.
inventory fluctuates, right? It might be worth something different next week if you pull it up again.
It records the date when you enter it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
It does, but the values get updated when you update the values.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's going to work probably like electronics for over time, where it can you can't write after the first year. If you've still got that stock, you can't necessarily write the full value off. It has to go down and probably
You have
be
a
like
limited
50%.
depreciation window.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
guessing.
that's
Again,
true.
I'm
That's true.
Canadian. That's how
So-
it is in Canada. So
I guess if you're calculating your costs, and skipping's the special case because there was probably some evaluation done with inheritance tax and stuff. But if someone buys a collection 6,000 books and you pay X amount, can you just say I paid? I just saw saying I thought everybody else bailed. So if you bought 6,000 books at X dollars, you just divide X dollars by 6,000 books. That's your buy-in price, averaged. Can you just
That's the way I
run
would
it that
do
way?
it, but you can do it that way, or you can go through and say this book was worth more than that book was, and it's much easier just to do the math, divide it, and
Well, yeah, because
by the full amount, and that would be your purchase price per book. Otherwise,
I
you're going
ran.
to get into a headache.
Well, yeah, because you if you're not going to sit there and negotiate with the seller of the collection per book, you're going to spend a lot of time deciphering an arbitrary value, right? You just
Right. And it's so much
there-
easier just to do the
whatever 50
total.
cents a book, and then boop. So
Yeah.
and that goes back to previous shows, which if you figure out your average cost and then you figure out your show sale value, you don't need to get FMV for this book just because it's worth it, because your investment was much lower.
Yeah, so I wound up paying $1 a book on that 6,000 book collection.
okay, yeah.
So negotiate in every show you have coming up from now on.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, if you're doing it like that, yeah, you put it in at the time and whatever. But it's also nice that I like CLZ that keeps the information when you, let's say you buy off of Whatnot, you can put in the value that you paid for it and the person you bought it off of.
Yes.
I always love that. And with CLZ, you can import from Excel files or Google Sheets. You can import a 6,000 thing with the value. So you just take, as you said, take the 6,000 divided by the 6,000. You get $1 a book. There you go. That's what you paid, and you don't have to enter it a whole bunch of times. You can import it in very quickly.
And maybe this is going to be stupid. Your overhead, freight you've paid on anything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because obviously people. Well, I just want to make sure that's clear to people in the panel and audience that they know that any freight you've paid on things, if you buy inventory on Whatnot, eBay, etc., that is an additional thing you can deduct.
Yes, that's an expense to get the inventory.
Okay. If we got any other questions before we move on to the next topic from the panel or from the chat?
There was a question
I don't
in
have
the
a question. I
chat.
have a statement. We don't care about Canada's taxes.
No, that's sure.
We won't, because we're gonna box
You
them in
will.
with our imperialism.
Well, you've taken over all the Venezuelan oil, so you don't need it from Canada anymore. So we're all going broke. You'll get us on 10 cents on the dollar.
We're gonna get Greenland, and you got nowhere to go.
And I'm pretty sure the extra tariffs and everything you have to buy is you add that in also.
That's true.
That's you guys paying the tariffs, not us. We just pay our tax, our GST or whatever HST.
Yeah, except you can't get American booze.
Well, I can.
Well, the rest of them can't. Start smuggling. Flat Earth smuggling operation.
Nope. I don't smuggle anything. Anyways, Okay, if there's no other questions, does the panel have any questions that was outside the topics that they'd like to discuss?
I was
Yes,
skipped
we've
on
got
the
a
I think
slab
there was a
thing, and I have some
question
input.
in the comments to start the show that was put before about
Oh,
a new
yes, yeah.
seller, what to do starting an inventory. That's
Yeah.
not a good one.
There you go. So I had a
Yeah, it
question.
was.
As a new seller, what do you or your starting inventory is not that good, and you can't afford to get better until the bad stuff is sold?
Keep running it because
flat
you
rate
need to find
boxes.
the. Well, yeah, but I started as a new seller with not great inventory. Keep running it until you find the right people. You can show that Punisher run, that Silver Surfer run, that Gen X run over and over, and you'll find the right person that will buy it all. And
I
be
feel like I
consistent
could,
when you're running it.
as a new
Maybe be
seller with
creative. You must.
a
You
lot
can.
of, sorry,
Go ahead.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
as a new seller with a lot of really not great inventory, just buying bulk lots to have stuff to run. Yeah, run it over and over and over again, and eventually, just keep. As what I've been doing is, I'll run it multiple times, and I'll move it to another box until I've brought it down so far in price because no one's interested that I just put it together in bulk lots, and I've started posting it on Facebook and eBay at a quarter a book or less just to get rid of it. But by running that stuff, I've been able to slowly upgrade my inventory to much better stuff to show off by running all that stuff until I couldn't stand to look at it anymore, and I probably knew what book was coming next every time.
Yeah, so what I do is I run a limited amount of books on a show, and once that show is done, I take that box and put it to the side. The next show, I do another box, and I don't do that other box, the first box that I did, until I've finished all my other boxes, so that it's not seeing the same product all the time also. Because people get frustrated when they go on your show and you got the same stuff that you showed on the last.
I think you need to be. I agree with Joey 100%. Where you rotate your inventory around, but say you only have 300 books, for example. Okay, you just say if you're starting out, you only have 300 books, for example. You got to get creative. Maybe do a flat rate box. Maybe do flat rate shipping box. Maybe give 3 for $5. There's creative ways because I've seen, and I'm sure Joey and Soder and Skippin and Pilsner and Flat have all, and the other guys have already seen. You go into other streams and they're just sitting there. It's the same 8 books on the rack. It's the same bullshit in their buy it now, and they do the same thing. They just sit there and it's like one book every 3 minutes. If you're not going to be creative, if you're not going to be able to reinvest in your business, then it's going to be very difficult. You're just going to have to get creative if it doesn't sell.
I agree with what you're saying. But I want to say something. I've been into a couple of shows recently over the last couple weeks where the seller had maybe 25 to 50 books and they showed it over and over. And believe me, the crowd that was in there was falling off very quickly.
Yeah.
So if you don't have inventory, find a way. Go work for the day somewhere at pay work by the day or whatever. If you don't have the money, find a way to come up with that money to buy yourself a little bit more inventory. Yes, run your show, do that. Rotate your inventory, do that. But find a way to get some more inventory. Otherwise, you're not going to get the viewership to get more people in there that's going to ultimately buy those books. You have to have quality stuff at least trickled in to get the viewership, to get that in. Because if you don't have it, the people are going to come in, they'll be there 1 or 2 times, they'll look and they're like, this guy's got the same stuff, they're moving on. They're not going to click on you the 3rd time. They're not going to waste their time. Time is valuable, just like yours is valuable, so is your customers, right? And so you have to, like, when I rarely have a book that doesn't sell, but there are some that just don't sell, right? I toss those aside. I put them, and then eventually I'll run them back through, trickle them back in. Maybe they'll sell the second time or the third time. Maybe they won't. If they don't, then maybe they end up becoming a box of stuff to help someone to fill their collections or whatever, or there'll be a giveaway that gets sent out to maybe a new follower or something like that, right? Depending on what it is and whether it's the quality, because like I said earlier, when in backstage, I'll show books that are for in pretty sad shape, but they may be worth something to somebody, right? Now I don't do it all the time, but I'll trickle a couple of those books in, and then maybe I'll sell them if they don't sell to someone for a crafting purpose, right? Because you can take comic book strips and you can put it on shoes. You can put it on all different kinds of crafts, right? Decoupage it, whatever. There's all different kinds of things that those books can be used for, even for reader copies to give to military veterans or to schools or whatever, what have you. And then you can write those off that way too. But you got to find a way to get your inventory.
Also, you can, reinvesting in your business is a very big part of the business, whether you're single like me or LLC. If you don't reinvest, you're never going to get any new stock. So what I do is, if I make $200 on the show, some of it's going to go for supplies, and a chunk of it is going to go back in and get more stuff coming in.
Yeah.
So that I have new stuff. So if you make $50 on your first show, you may want to take $25 and go buy some books somewhere. Go to a swap meet or something like that and go get some books just to get new inventory. Also, what I did, and somebody said to me, "Hey, you got any Aquaman books?" Aquaman books don't sell for me. I can't sell an Aquaman book for nothing. The guy says, "How many you got?" I said, "I got 75. He goes, "What do you need?" I said, "Give me X-Force and X-Factor. Those sell." I made a trade-off. So I got rid of books I can't sell, and I got books that I can sell.
There you go.
Also, to help, like Joey said, take that $25, find a stream that has dollar claims. Okay?
Plenty of
It's
them.
very simple. Go onto a show that has dollar claims, get yourself 15, 18 brand new books out of that $25. The rest of it goes into shipping. And there you go. You got 18 brand new books.
Come see
Brand
me.
new inventory.
Yeah, I'll trade. We should do
Another
that.
thing, too, is this goes back to, I can tell you right now, if you have say you have 50 books and you don't think your inventory is that good, and then you'll go into a Skip and Stone show and you'll see those same 50 books sell. It's because she's established. She's worked her crowd or audience. It takes time. Like Soder Pop's audience and Joey's and everybody else on this panel, it's a matter of taking the time and building those relationships, going in other streams, introducing yourself. Watch the other Whatnot, Why Not shows, and we've talked about this in many of those streams about having to establish yourself, build yourself up, make a name for yourself, and those 8, 30, 50 books that you're trying to look rid of, you could easily probably get rid of them.
Branding and networking. Very important.
Yep.
Yeah, I think being in other shows, because I'm assuming most of us got into this because we do like comics, and being able to go into other shows and just chat it up. I've gotten as many followers probably being in other shows and just not shutting up and helping the host move along as I have from one of my own shows, just because being in another show can help so much, especially as a new seller. I can get a lot of followers from people in another show.
And shout out the people that you network with, that you
exactly.
Yeah, like every single show, you go into Punisher's stream, he shouts out everybody. You go into Skip and Stream, shouts out everybody. You go into Lions Keep's stream, shouts out everybody. You go into Soda Pop's stream, shouts out everybody. I I've only been in a couple Joey D shows, but I assume he shouts out everybody as well.
And I mod everybody that's a seller.
Yeah. So and Pilsner, well, he just kicks everybody out, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean the reason
I've
I'm
turned
here at
it into
all
a
is
spectator sport.
Just
the reason I'm here at all was being in Crazy Cool's and him tagging Flat Earth because I was on his panel once. So I think being in other streams can help a new seller as much as anything else.
Also, what I do, I post in my notes all the sellers that are worthy to follow. I post it in my notes, and whether you guys know it or not, you will be in my notes following the show.
Thank you. My notes are too long. I've actually
Joey
I've maxed out the digits that you can put in your show.
Joey and Crazy Cool I follow as well as some of you on Instagram, but they will regularly post other people's shows there because it's another medium,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can say that I just want to give my story real quick, if you guys don't mind. I was trying to reach my 1,000 followers. I was building up my own name, and it was JoJo and Joey that helped me get there. And I went into JoJo's stream, and we all went there. He stopped his stream and gave away a drone, a couple $100 drone, in order to get me to my 1,000 followers.
It's funny because I hear stories about JoJo and Surtur and so on that do those things.
Yeah, so
because
building those relationships, and what I'm saying is, me and Joey and JoJo, if anytime you see they talk about the family, we have built this family, and then I've met Skip and Stones and Soder and Flat and Pilsner, and I'm just saying is we have built this family over this time where my wife had surgery today. I got text from Flat Earth. I got text from Surtur, Joey. I'm just saying this is not just about Whatnot and streaming and making money. We are building a community and a family, and we all care about each other.
Yeah, I did a show last night, right? Out of those 6,000 books, I got in 4 flat rate boxes, maybe about 200 books. Okay, I know what I paid for them. I paid practically nothing for them, plus a slab. I sold 3 of the slabs that I got in those boxes. Okay, and I comped them, and I always go below the comp price just to make sure that somebody gets value for their money. Okay, knowing what I paid for it, but selling those 3 slabs paid for those 4 boxes, and I ran all those books at $1 a book last night. Some of them were double stacked. So they had a book in the back and a book in the front. Okay. And it's just the way sometimes you just got to get rid of inventory in order to get more, get rid of it, and if $1 makes somebody happy, I'm happy with that.
Selling at a loss is also a write-off.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep. Well, I mean, talking about Stevie and Crazy Cool Comics, I like his mentality of or his process. He starts them off at like a $5 or $10 book or whatever it is, and if it doesn't sell, it goes in his next show as a $3 book, and if it goes in the next show as a $1 book, and if it doesn't sell there, well, he starts to bulk them out. And, you can take Pilsner's idea of doing the stacker show, where you say, hey, I do start at 1. It doesn't go. Okay. Now 2 books for $1. Okay. Now 3 books for $1. See how, and it won't take long before someone.
Until somebody gets 40 books. that was a fun day.
There's a good way to build your inventory.
How much did the 40 books go for?
He pressed back on his thing.
How do you guys do the shipping for a stacker like that?
It's £1 priority all the time. It doesn't matter.
Use your adjustment, or if you set it up, you're good.
Yeah, just quickly change your shipping when you're doing that. If you haven't started it, just do a flat rate box, and it's $9.21. If you're going to do stacks, if you're going to do stacks, if you're doing it just on the fly, it all works out. You very
No,
rarely end
no,
up having to pay.
my stacker shows were terrible. I sold like 500 books one night, and I probably made $18. Not made, sorry, generated $18 because it became a very fun game, and then it cost me about $300 in shipping.
Oh
I tell you,
no.
another place to get inventory is these people that have meltdowns on whatnot and decide that they are just selling everything next to nothing, and you can get flat rate boxes for like $10
Oh yeah,
of 50 comics and decent stuff. So even if you sell it for $2 or $3, you're still doubling, tripling your money.
Yeah, but also you got to take a look at it that you have to be transparent and honest in everything that you do. You can't sell a book with ticks on it and not tell somebody.
Integrity.
Yeah, that's part of the flood of new sellers.
Go ahead. Yeah, but the thing is that every book that I get in, I take out of the bags and boards and I check the back of the book. Okay.
Yeah.
One time I bought a $30 book. Okay. And I didn't ask them to take it out of the bag. It's my fault. I should have asked them. But as I took it out of the bag, there was a big slice going down the back of the cover. Okay. So, I mean, when I sell books, if there's something wrong with the books, I'm going to point it out to you. It's up to you. If you want to buy it or not, that's fine. If you don't, I don't have no problem with that. But as long as you're honest and your integrity is there on what you're selling, you'll be fine.
And not only that, and I know there's somebody on this panel that can attest to this. Something happened and I made it right. And there was no way in hell I was not going to make it right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean I
Integrity.
shouldn't tell them about the story about you and me?
Listen, just because you begging for a discount and I won't give it to you.
Oh my God.
No, but I'll tell the story. I'm sure Soder doesn't mind.
Go
There
ahead.
was some damage. There was some damage on one of our exclusives, new books. And he texts me, he goes, dude, I go, are you kidding me? There's no way. And yeah, it came in like that. And I told him, I said, no problem. We're going to fix it. Not a problem. Do me a favor, give that book away and we will replace it for nothing.
Hey, I had a flat rate box, medium flat rate box, go out with about $300 worth of books in it, exclusives and stuff like that. When the buyer sent me a picture of the box, it looks like it was an accordion. Okay, now that's USPS. Okay, that wasn't my fault. It was USPS. Okay, so he sent me pictures of the books with them folded in half, crinkled up, and on the corners. Every single book was like that. So you know what I did? I turned around and I sent them another flat rate box inside a large flat rate box with $500 worth of books, retail value. I'm not saying my cost, retail value. All right, just to make it right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I operate. If it gets damaged, it doesn't matter if it's me or the carrier.
I've never had any problems with any, like, if there was a problem, it got made right quickly.
Yes,
and it should be.
And I've dealt with it with Punisher, with Soder, with Lion's Keep, Skippin', Pilsner. I haven't bought off you, Joey, but I'll be in the shows. And Fall City, you're new, but I was in your show the other day. You did a good show, so yeah, I'm sure you're going to do, stand behind your product, and that's what makes it awesome.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be perfect. I don't care who you are or how good you are. Mistakes
Speak
will
for
happen.
yourself.
Something's going to happen. Just own it. Even if it's
I
not
love
your
the
fault,
cockiness of government
own it.
employees.
Yeah, just be accountable. Take care of your people. They'll come back. Even if it's not your freaking fault, just do it.
Yeah,
Take care of them.
take care of 'em.
Apologize, move on.
And
they'll come
again,
back.
if it gets ruined, it is tax deductible, guys.
Oh yeah. Well, I was even thinking that. I'm like, they don't even need to buy again. They just need to come and fill your crowd and interact. That in itself adds value.
You know, also one thing that I do when I raid, I try to find a new seller that's got a little people in his room to boost them up.
Yes,
You know, just and get to know them also.
absolutely. The smallest sellers gotta stick together, you know.
Yes.
It really brightens someone's day if they have like maybe 10 people in the room and you can double it, maybe bring in 30, something like that. It makes everybody happy.
You know, I had a new seller the other night. I raided him and he goes, "Oh my God, that's my first raid. Thank you very much." Every time I go in the show, you got to tell everybody, "Hey, you know, Joey was the first one to raid me and everything." And I'm like, you know, I appreciate it, but you don't have to keep on doing it. But it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? I
I
enjoy
had
it.
a
It's that
crazy
community.
boosted my show on Monday, and it brought in some, a couple good sellers that spent some money with me, which was awesome. But it made me realize there was a new, like, a first seller's first show was today, and I had talked to her in other shows and on Instagram. I've talked to her as well, and I went into her show and I couldn't wait to pay it forward, and I boosted her show, and I think it helped bring in a lot of people to her to get her out there. So I think being able to pay that stuff forward is really awesome as well.
Mm-hmm. People did it for me. I'll do it for everybody.
I agree. I do it all the time. That I very only in the beginning when I didn't know anybody did I ever rate anybody that was bigger than me. I always try and find someone that's got a lower count and raid them. And I try and even I try and even before I even raid the show, because I've kind of learned from a couple bad experiences where I
To look at
rated a
the
show
profile.
and to look at their profile, to even visit their show. Maybe it's not, I mean, that doesn't work if it's their first stream, right? But if you kind of look at and see in advance who's going to be on towards the end of your stream time, and you watch their show, maybe the prior show, and you take and kind of see whether they're someone that you'd want to drop your people into. And I even will buy books from other sellers just to give them away to promote their streams, and then I'll drop into their shows, right? I raid into their shows, especially if they are someone I've purchased from. I'll give their stuff away and then raid into them, right? To kind of help boost, say, see, this is what you can get from this person, right? And that's one of the things I like doing with the unboxings, to show the quality of the way they package their stuff. Not only does that help me feel confident in who I'm rating and recommending to my tribe, is by seeing, because I've purchased some books, and I've gotten some books, and I won't rate them. I won't recommend them because I don't even show it on my stream, right? I just skip over it, right? Because of the way they package their stuff. I can't recommend them as in my own integrity to my tribe, the people that have put their trust in me. I can't recommend them as a seller to purchase from, because the stuff that they weren't bagged and boarded, they weren't packaged well, they were just crap, right?
You complain about my packaging
I
because you
do.
can't get into it.
Yes, but that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, but
It takes a strategic set of skills to open your packages.
I've only heard the lore of your packages from the last podcast, so I'm gonna have to order something from you just so I can see this magnificent packaging.
Get Jaws of Life. Just
I can tell you, I got a message today from a big buyer. I got a text message today from a big buyer that said that my package looked like a grizzly bear chewed onto it. I got into the package and every book was flawless.
But I also find out that the new sellers, I think their biggest problem is their shipping, because they really don't know how to do it. I mean, if you were on eBay for a long time and you came to Whatnot, you sort of know what you have to do. But I'd say 75% of the new sellers do not know how to ship.
You know why
Which
that
I-
is, Joey? Because it's like, oh, look, Whatnot's a cool hip thing. I can become a seller in 2 seconds because they don't have to go through anything anymore. And look, I can do it. It's like, look, I had a show. I sold $100 worth of stuff. Now what?
Exactly. And that's why I do these shows, to show these people. But there's one thing that I hate, and I will reiterate this on every show that I do on the questions and answers, is if you put books together and tape them together, okay? If I ever get a shipment and the books are taped on both sides and top and bottom, I will never ever purchase from that person again.
Oh, you talking about the painter's tape from hell?
No.
No.
I'm
On
talking
the
about
side.
the proper way to package books together. If you put a stack of books together, is to put the painter's tape top and bottom, not side and side.
Correct.
Mhm.
It
Okay, because it
creates stress.
Fine stress.
Yes.
Okay, and a lot of people don't know that. And I got 6 packages in the other day in one box. Okay, they were the blind bags. This is from a big seller. I mean, a really big premier shop seller. The bags were taped top and bottom, side to side. Okay, that every top and bottom bag was ripped by the time I got the tape off of them.
Oh, ouch.
Okay, so I mean, I had to eat 12 books. You know, luckily one of them was a foil, so I wasn't too mad. But, you know, and it's just disheartening that people don't understand that. And they can't wrap their head around it not to tape the book side to side.
I don't
Definitely
take
a big
Also,
problem.
also, take a little bit of time, and
Tab.
with those tabs, put a tab on to easily pull the tape off, and do it at the back, not the front, so that if you, or sorry, do it at the front, not the back, so that if you pull it and the tape doesn't come off, you're doing it on the back side of the book where the board is, and you're not getting fingernails onto your comic book.
It takes 1/10 of a second to do a tab.
100%. I think there was another question in the chat about becoming a premier shop.
Was there?
Can we
Yeah,
talk
there was.
about a premier shop?
$50,000 in sales, 5.0.
Yeah.
You have to be 100%. You have to have $50,000 in sale in 3 months. You will not get Premier Shop until you have $50,000 in a 3-month period.
That's a tough
I
call.
I don't think that it's all that much worth it, really. I mean, that's a lot of pushing yourself. That's a lot of pushing. And I'm not going to be on 7 days a week to do that. And I have good sales, right?
not
but make,
bad. It's a
make-
time
You do fantastic. I watch your shows. I'm in awe of what you do.
I mean, how important it is, how, in all honesty, for everybody that's on this panel, how more important is it to have the word premier shop on our
It
channel?
doesn't. What they should do is they should.
None. It's pay to play.
Yeah.
No, doesn't.
But my whole thing is that you want to promote the premier shops for the people who bring you in the money. Why don't you promote the shops who bring you in the quality? Okay.
I agree.
Mhm.
Satisfaction of people like what we do. You know, don't make us a premier shop. Make us a quality shop where
There
you
you go.
get
That'd be
and
nice.
stuff like that. They don't want to do that because we don't produce the amount of money. Look, I can tell you right now, Comic Tom 101 is a really big seller. He's got over 150 people in his room. He's not a premier shop.
How are there
And he
any
only has
premier
5 people
comic
buying.
shops?
He's not a premier shop.
Are there any comic sellers that are premier? I figure to do that much, sales, you almost have to be selling something that's a lot
Okay,
bigger than,
Why
I think Big Dex
Buddy,
is.
what do you call it? Goodbye.
Goodbye is, I know Eggplant will be. There are a few
Yep.
out there, but they are
Yep.
cranking every day.
Yeah, they are.
Bless them for it. They must
Pop culture. What do you call it?
Yeah, I
Pop
think Big
culture
Dex
comic.
has. I think that he runs a He has a person that runs a show in the morning with
His
some
son.
lesser bucks. He does at night. I mean, every time I turn on, Big Dex is on.
Yeah, he does. His son does the morning and he does the night.
Yeah, you have to either have a team or you have to really, really, really be pushing yourself. And when you're pushing yourself like that, you're losing quality.
Yes.
And you're losing quality. And honestly, my shows are, typically 30 to 50, up to 60 people at a time. And I like that. That's a comfortable amount of people. And beyond that, when I've had the couple of times I've had bigger streams, it gets too much. Trying to keep up with the chat, you start losing the personal touch. I'm happy. I don't need to be premier seller. I have no desire to be a premier seller, selling comics. I don't need my wings. I can fly without them.
Mm-hmm.
I can fly without them.
There's times I ran shows with 5 people in the room.
I do wish that there would be something else that we could aim for.
I agree. Quality.
Yeah, but
quality over quantity.
It takes a tribe in order to make it happen. One person yelling and screaming about it ain't going to make it happen.
No. And honestly, as a shopper, I don't necessarily shop. I don't necessarily look for sellers that have their wings, because I find that their stuff ends up going for too high.
Yes.
I rarely go in a room that has more than 20 people in it.
Yeah. I like the smaller, more intimate groups.
Yeah. I mean, you take Comic Tom, everybody hates him. All right. I don't know why, because the guy does right by a lot of people. I mean, he'll run $30 books for $10. You know what I'm saying? Giving people deals and stuff like that on his drops and everything. I purchased from him before, and his quality of packing is incredible. I can tell you that right now.
I imagine that somebody else like Bry is also a premier seller. I don't know. And he is one that does slabs.
Yeah, but there's also people on here that left here to go to another live site, okay? And because they think the grass is greener on the other side, but then I see them back in here when the blind bags come up to sell the blind bags on here. I mean, you got to either do one or the other. I mean, you just can't be coming back just to, get a score or something like that, because you're going to be able to sell them on here, not the other place.
Yeah, and one of the things I just noticed that one of the chat members was saying was that the commission's not that much cheaper. I mean, it's really not. What you're paying in commission fees is really a small amount, especially compared to other platforms. And if you put a dollar amount on your own self, right, and you put the value, and if your plan is not to be a business where you're like hiring people to do your shows, right, and you want to keep it more a you ran thing, that commission is not worth, that little bit of commission that you're saving is not worth the stress, anxiety, and burden to yourself to push yourself to that point. It's the pennies that you're saving. Is it worth the?
Hell no.
Is it worth it? All the other stuff that you're putting on yourself? Because
isn't it only like 1 point savings to be a premier shop?
Yeah,
1%.
It's so small. It's so small, and it's more of a status thing to say, "Oh, I'm great. I have my wings," and great if you can get them.
It is, but it's also going to be where they shove you in the recommendeds.
Who cares?
That's true.
Well,
That's true.
I'm not saying I care. I'm just saying for the audiences that ask the question, it will push you further up the recommended.
I was in the recommended one night last month, and I'm not a premier shop.
I'm in the recommended often.
Yeah, I've seen you in the recommended too. I'm
in the not recommended.
I'm in the recommended often too. So.
because
On-
once you get on that ride, you're in trouble.
on
I'm
that
championing it,
recommended
or you're
part,
not recommended.
on that recommended part, what also brings you up higher in the recommended is chat engagement, right? The sales flow, but also your bookmarking. If you have a lot of people bookmarking your shows, that says in the algorithm, oh, this person in this category is a person of interest. So
Not anymore. Not anymore. The bookmarks are not as important anymore.
No, they aren't. They aren't
It's
because
it's it's actually your
detrimental.
chat. It's your chat activity and
Mhm.
your sales and the amount of people that are in your room.
Right.
It's what's called engagement.
All right. I've never gone by bookmarks because right now I can tell you I got 21 people bookmarked for my Q&A show tomorrow, and I can guarantee you there'll be no more than 8. Because people say, "Hey, do me a favor, go bookmark Joe's show." You know, they're gonna bookmark it just for the hell of it. They're not gonna show up. You know, and it happens all the time.
Well, also the app has such limited notification features.
Yes.
So many people have them muted, so they don't even get your bookmark notification when you start now.
Exactly. Yeah, so I was always wondering why I never got bookmarks from somebody until I saw that little bell up on the top near their name that you can click in order to get the notifications. If you guys never noticed that before.
On mine,
That makes
everyone
sense.
I follow, it automatically turns on their notifications.
You may think so, but it doesn't. I've been in shows where I had myself and my mod in the room, 37 bookmarks. Okay, my show was not even showing on the screen anywhere.
Interesting.
Interesting. You know why that happens, right?
Tell
I
us.
assume.
That's
I
Whatnot.
assume.
That's Whatnot. Whatnot will do that to sellers. If you haven't noticed, Whatnot does a lot. Whatnot has a lot of control over who's in whose shows. If you're in a show and you see people come in and then disappear, it's Whatnot actually doing that. You guys got to take a look at that a little bit more carefully.
You're saying shadow banning?
Yeah, they shadow ban.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I mean, and even on the subject that was mentioned before with the boost, be careful with that because once your show is boosted, it now depends on boosts.
Really?
You will not. Yes, you will not maintain that following. As soon as that boost ends, you will watch 20 people easily drop out.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Unless someone else spends.
Let me tell you something about the boost that I found out. If you boost your own show, it could be detrimental, like you said. But if you get a community boost, it works out better.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
It
those
does
boosts is
until it
nothing but a
ends.
Whatnot. I mean, that is such a waste of money. It's such a waste of money. Whatnot eats off those boosts.
They do, but
I've done community boosts for other sellers, and I've talked to them about their sales, whether it improved their sales, and I've sat there and watched during their streams whether the people that were coming in were buying, and I'm not, both with what they were saying and with what I was witnessing, truly watching. The people that were purchasing, they weren't coming in. It was people were coming in, popping out, popping in, popping out, popping in, popping. It wasn't that there was true sales, and whether it was worth the money. I don't recommend them personally.
No, it's free money for Whatnot. But once that show has one community boost, it now depends on boost to maintain any level of viewership.
Right. You have to have somebody come in and do another boost and add on boost.
I'm assuming the boost just moves you up the flip rate. Maybe is that what we think it does? Is
They boost
Like
Yeah.
if
the
I'm just in
algorithm.
comics and I'm flipping through shows, it moves a boosted show up higher versus
Yes,
a non-boosted show.
it depends
Yeah.
if you get boosted with enough people. But
I
it's a
mean, I'll
money
tell you right
maker.
now, what I go on and say Skippin's on, Skippin's always at the top of my list. Joey's on. People that I'm in their shows, Soda Pop, they're always at the top of my list when I go down.
You
And is
know,
this
Right.
in your followed list, like your follow tab, or is
Yeah, exactly. So
No, we're talking about the
You-
For You, the main page, which shows you
Yeah,
people you
feature.
don't follow. Yeah, the
gotcha?
features.
I get it. And I scroll down and I look, but the big thing about it is the people shows that I want to be in are right at the top.
Yeah, the people that I've noticed that, and because I've been really watching kind of how it works a lot lately, trying to do my own self analyzing, and I've noticed that um, if I newly bookmark someone or and newly follow them, right, they'll pop up closer to the top even in my recommended for you. But I don't see a lot of people that I'm not regularly in not even in my recommended part, right? Um, I'm just not seeing that. I'll see like one or two pop up here and there that are like unfamiliar, but for the most part, I'm seeing a lot of the same as I do when I switch to the followers tab. I don't know
okay.
if it's just me,
All right,
but
so I got something to tell you about that. I go in and I regularly look to see where I am slotted on the list in the regular tab and in the comics tab because that's mostly what I'm in.
right.
For 2 months straight, 2 months straight, I'm going to tell you right now, I was below 60 on the list in both, below 60. Okay, so you had to scroll down 60 shows just to get to me. The last month, I've been anywhere from 1 to 8. Okay, that's what I'm talking about shadow banning. Whatnot will shadow ban you to get other new sellers and other sellers up in the algorithm and up on the slot list. And I've
Now,
been
Joey,
shadow banned twice already.
are you saying when you go in to see where your show is on, like when you just go to the comics tab and you scroll down to see how
Yeah,
far it is before you see this is your not your live show, this is your
no, my
show
live
coming
show.
up, correct?
My live show. When I'm live, I have multiple devices that I use. So I go and I check. And for 2 months straight, I was no more than 60 on the list. At one point in time, I was 113.
And is that on a different account?
No, same account, my account.
So, have you done it where you're like have a different name, or you have someone there with you that has their account and they're looking and seeing where that you're at?
Yeah, I mean, JoJo's Collectibles for the last couple of times that I was on the show, he goes, "Oh, you're on the third. You're number 3," and I'm already an hour and a half into my show, which is kind of good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you were above this one, you were above that one, and this has only been happening since the beginning of the year. Okay,
Huh.
where I've been up the algorithm for a change instead of being all the way slotted on the bottom. And it does hurt, it does hurt you. It does hurt you when you are slotted so far down because nobody scrolls down that far. Nobody.
No.
Nope.
But we talked about a little bit of that with the new seller recruitment. Those people, their first show or two get priority status.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the more new sellers that are signing up in a given week are going to push you down that list. They want them to have that euphoria of their first show or two.
Mhm.
And they get the false notion that they're not going to have to put the work in. And then all of a sudden they think, oh, let me go on at a 7 o'clock on a Friday night. Like, what happened? Why don't I have anybody in my show?
Mhm.
Well, 'cause they're all at
I learned
different
that lesson
stones.
real quick.
What I'm saying is, I don't want to sound conceited, but it's kind of like you've got to establish yourself and know your role and find your time slot. when you're sitting there going against 50 big sellers, how do you expect to even be successful when you don't really have the inventory for that as a new seller?
And you don't have the followers either.
Correct. You don't have the establishment and everything like that. I'm saying you got to get that call. You have to put the work in order to be able to run on a Friday night, a Saturday night. Friday, Saturday nights are premier nights.
Yep.
So I'm just saying it's okay if you run, but you cannot expect it. I'm not saying you got to run at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not saying you got to run Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What I'm saying is you need to test the waters. And if you think you're jumping in on a Friday or a Saturday night on this stream as a new seller, you are fooling yourself.
Yeah, I feel like there's easily over 100 people every Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, but that's because everybody's off. You know, most of the people are out of work on Friday and they do their shows Friday night, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, people are always going to run when they're, not doing their regular day job.
Right. So during the week, you got to, but you also got to be consistent. You can't go on Monday at 2 o'clock, Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and you got to get consistency where people know that you're going to be running the same show. You're going to be running your shows at the same time all the time. If you're consistent with that, you'll get your followers. I mean, I've been on the app for 5 years. I only have just about 8,000 followers. And that's not a lot. I mean, I've seen people on here that have been on for less than a year and have 40,000 followers. It just works out differently for everybody. And I'm happy where I am. I'm happy what I do. I enjoy what I do. Whether it's 5 people or 60 people.
That's the most important thing. Enjoy what you do. Then you're never working.
Yeah, I've
Soder,
realized
you
talking
want to
to
talk about your
every.
consistency?
Yeah, man. I put in the effort because we sucked ass in the beginning because we were trying to copy everybody else that was doing well. And finally, one day I just said, fuck it. I'm just going to start doing what I do and be me and crack jokes. And we took off. I mean, we blew the hell up. The
That's because you were
consistency of
being you.
staying.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's
Being
because you were
you.
being you. You were being
Oh, yeah.
authentic.
Yep. And I was still being me in the show, but I was trying to do all this weird shit with how I was selling it. And just put up the books. I list all my books, and then makes it easy for people. They can come in, and then most of the time, people stay the whole show and they just talk shit. They might buy a book at the beginning of the show, and that's the only book they buy in 3 hours, but they're there the whole show, just hanging out, talking shit. And then, we have a Tuesday night trivia show. A lot of people come in, they don't buy. We sell all 50 books. Um, they're just there for the trivia, the entertainment, but then they come into the Sunday show where everything's like $1 or $3 starts, and that's where they start, spending their money. But you got to
That's
stay consistent.
that's cool.
Yeah. Um, like this last Sunday when we did our show, we had a ton of people come in and out the entire show as you always do, but 50% of our sales were brand new buyers. That was insane. Um,
That's a good amount.
yeah, that it was actually I would say it's more. I have to look at it. Mel said it was closer to like 70, but I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers again. I'm in Wisconsin now at my daughter's, but yeah, I mean, it's somewhere between 50 and 70. We'll just call it 60. Fuck it. 60% new buyers. It was ridiculous, and they were spending money. Skipping Stones was in there too. So thank you for your support. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, you just have fun. You talk shit. You get engagement. You're gonna have up and downs on the show. Just keep the energy up. And here's another thing: don't run if you're not feeling it. The chat will sense that the vibe of the show is going to be different. You could lose people from that are regulars. It's better just to not run a show that day if something's off. And honestly, I've had to do that in the past couple months, and things are starting to settle down. And I'll get back to normal, but
run your shows and you can expand. I started out on Sundays, found my little gimmick with the trivia for Tuesday nights. Um, Thinking about getting on to Thursday nights and just expanding it a little further. But you have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. Don't start, spreading yourself too thin, doing 3 shows a week if you don't have the following to do it. You're going to get frustrated. Start one day a week, get that following. Start another day of the week, get that following. Um, just again, put in the work. Stay consistent. Stay consistent on the days that you're doing it, and keep that energy level up and be authentic.
Yeah, I found that when because when I first started, didn't really have a schedule. I mean, I kind of did it on the same day, but I like bounce 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock and stuff like that. Now I just run at 4 o'clock, and I do it the same 3 days a week. And as a buyer, and this is where I put myself on the other side of things, is I look forward to some of my favorite sellers being on. And when they're not on because their schedule doesn't allow it or whatever, I find it disappointing, right? And so consistency, I think, is one of the biggest keys next to having decent product, having a good time, and everything like that. And it lets people know not only that they can depend on you being there, but because it is a social situation, it's a social app. Some of the people, they come in, they just want to hang out. They want the social experience more than they want to purchase anything, right?
Part of it's entertainment for them.
It is.
There are many times where I go into a show and I let them know I'm here to socialize. I'm not gonna bid, but I'm around.
Right. And sometimes that's what it is for me. I'm just hanging out and chilling and enjoying the vibe of everything that's going on. And sometimes I purchase it because I don't need books. I just don't need books. But I do buy, from time to time I do buy, and like I said, I use them for promotions and stuff like that. But I do buy other stuff from other streams for personal enjoyment, right? And the people that are just like, they do the pop-ups when they have the time, and they're not consistent and regular, they just don't get the following that they deserve, even though they're fantastic sellers, even though they have fantastic products at a fantastic price. And I fully believe that it has to do with consistency. Because I know that every night, the people that I like to shop with, I know the people that are on that day of the week. I'm like, oh, it's whatever, and so's on, and so I'll go in there, and chances are I end up spending money that I didn't really plan on spending because I see something I want that I didn't know I wanted, and the domino effect happens, right? But consistency, stick with it and be consistent, even if you can't, even if your life is so unscheduled. If you can try and block out just that one day a week, or a couple days a month, like the 1st and the 15th or whatever it is, and people know that you're going to be on that day, then they get excited to see you, right? Once they find you, they like you, they're like, oh, and they get excited to see you, and they kind of will schedule their lives to be on your stream because they know that you're going to be there. So, I know that what you're saying about if you're not feeling it, but like I lost my voice and I still don't have my voice back completely. But I still came on, right? Because I didn't feel like shit. I just didn't have much of a voice, but I still came on because I didn't want to disappoint anybody, but I enjoy the hell out of it, right? It's a social, it's like I go into the bar on Friday nights and your group's there, right? I'm not a bar person, but that's, I look forward to it. And so I pushed through the voice, and I apologize to everybody. I did run a little slower this week because I also had migraines during this time, but um, I think it still was worth being there, even though I didn't sell as many books, and that was my fault because I ran slower. But I still made the amount of money that I usually make, and I still had a great time, and my tribe was still there, right? Now, if you're just like totally having the worst day ever, then maybe you don't want to be on there, and if you're in a foul mood or whatever. But if you can muster it up, there's been times when I just wasn't feeling it, and my show was shorter or whatever, but I still showed up, and I found that my mood got improved when I was there, and it ended up being a benefit for me, not necessarily monetarily, but on the emotional aspect of it, it turned my whole day around, right? And I ended my day with a lot better of a mental status than I started out at. And again, that a lot of that depends on how you are as a person. If you can rebound your mood and what's going on around you, and sometimes life is shitty, and shitty happens, and I guess it kind of depends on each situation, what's bringing you down as far as that goes. But if you can muster it up, I suggest being on. And if you just can't get past the funk that you're in, or the what's weighing heavy on your heart or whatever, then yeah, you probably should just reschedule.
Every year at the beginning of the year, I do a free shipping show for everybody. Okay, and it's more of an appreciation for the buyers and their support throughout the year that I do that. Excuse me. And believe you me, it hits the bottom line when you do a free shipping show.
Yeah, I did one on when Whatnot had the free seller fees,
Yeah.
Black Friday, I think it was. I did that. I gave the money back to the customers and did a free shipping show. And yeah, it cost me a little bit more than it would have cost me in fees, but I enjoyed the hell out of doing that for everybody.
Oh yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. Just you really can't see their face, but you know how excited they are when they get something and they don't have to shell out the rest of the money for it. I mean, it was $220 in shipping, but what did that mean for me? Basically nothing.
Right. And that's one of the things I do because I run on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday now, is I offer my customers, if they reach the 921 on Thursday, they don't have to pay shipping on Friday or on Sunday. I just tell them to throw their wallet for local pickup, and I just combine it so they don't have to pay for shipping on the other days.
And
I just combine their shipping because it all fits in the box. And if they buy more than a box, then they certainly deserve that extra 921 that it costs me. And then with the 5 adjustments, I rarely have to pay anything out of pocket for that experience. And so I have about, a dozen customers that take me up on that offer every week and save their shipping. And it's something I learned from another seller on here, and it's something that is definitely benefiting other people. And it's not that much extra work just to throw their 3 orders into, or 4 if I'm running Saturday morning and running into Punisher or Surtur. It gives them an opportunity to spend a few more dollars with me as well, and buy a couple more books. So And it's better than shipping half an empty box too, and having to fill it with dunnage, right?
I'll tell you truthfully, you learn something new every day, and you just taught me something today that I'm going to try and do also. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's easy to do. All you got to do is have local pickup on your wallet, and then you try and remind your people at the beginning of your show on whatever your first show. If you're doing it, it only works on weekends because that gives you the extra days. Or if you're doing 2 shows back to back because of the 2-day shipping, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it works great, and it's really not that complicated. Yeah, I don't end up starting to do my shipping until Sunday. And it actually has pushed me from Monday shipping on most of the time to Tuesday shipping. Well, I should make sure all my Thursday orders ship on Monday because that's the second day shipping. But anybody that purchases Friday that didn't purchase on Thursday, that can be shipped Tuesday. And anybody that didn't take advantage of it, I just ship it accordingly to the day accordingly. But I typically sell 200 to 250 books a show, so that's anywhere from 6 to upwards of 750 books. And me and the guy I got helping me pack, we can do it. And it's absolutely doable, and it's a nice thing to do for the customers. And like I said, it's better than having to fill 3 boxes. Say the person buys 3 times for each show, you're only creating 1 box. You're not having to fill it all the way up with the extra dunnage. You're filling it up with books. You're able to use 1 Gemini box if it's because I put my stuff in Gemini boxes if it fits in a Gemini box, and then I put the Gemini box.
Sorry,
Yeah.
don't mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry.
But we're getting to about the 2-hour mark. I wanted to give Fall City, being the new seller, the time to say, "Hey, I've got a last question that I'd like to say to any of the experienced sellers." Sorry, again, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. But we're just getting along the show. So Fall City, have you got a question that you'd like to ask that you really want to know as a new seller?
So it's, as someone who plans on doing this long term, being able to speak to people who have been doing it for a long term, going back to the beginning of the show when we were talking about taxes and things like that, has anyone that has set up an LLC in order to do this found that it is worth it, or what would be the benefits of someone starting out that actually has intentions of doing it for a while? How do you feel about setting up an LLC? Is there an advantage to it?
An LLC is to a limited liability company, right? So what that does is it limits your liability as an individual to keep you from being sued as an individual. In the comic book world, I don't know that it's necessarily something that is worth at least at an early state. I mean, if you became a big company, a big organization, but you're not going to have a lot of liability in comics.
Can you get an EIN? Because I know on Whatnot, if you have an EIN, you can buy books tax free, because then it counts towards your inventory, so that you only pay tax going out, not also coming in.
All right, I could answer that question because I have an EIN without an LLC, and I tried doing that on Whatnot, and they ask you for your LLC.
So maybe that would be the one instance really where having an LLC, because I think setting up an LLC it's not super expensive. It's what, $100 or so, something like that.
No, for me it's $436 in Nevada
to set up the LLC. But is it a one-time fee where then
it's a one-time fee and then you pay your yearly license?
But then you would be able to buy inventory, quote unquote, through Whatnot tax free, and possibly maybe give someone like Comic Pro Line or BCW or someone like that your EIN as well, and be able to buy supplies tax free.
Yes. Now, the only reason why I'm setting up an LLC is because I want to get new release books, and the only way to get an account with the companies is to have an LLC. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it, because I need to get new releases in for everybody. So, there's different reasons why people set it up, and I know there's people out there that got LLCs that could tell you a lot more. But I've been hinging on it for like the last 2 years, and now it's just, I told my cousin yesterday, it's time we do it. Let's get it done. Because we need to get this, because there's certain things that we want to get that we cannot get without an LLC.
So it sounds like possibly long term it could be worth it after the one-time setup fee, and then I mean you would make it back on tax from what you buy and whatnot after the first. I mean, you would make your yearly subscription or whatever they want to call it back on just not paying taxes both ways on whatnot. It sounds.
Now, don't get me wrong. Every state, it's a different filing fee. Okay, because I know
Yeah,
in Texas, $75 to $100 to set up an LLC.
Yeah, I'm in Kentucky, and I don't think it's any more than like about that $7,200. So it would be
Right. But for me, I went
very
to
minimal for me.
You can set it up on your own if you went to New York State Gov, or New York State Gov, your government. You can look it up. Just type in LLC for your state, and you could go directly to them and set it up and do everything there. And you just have to pay your state fees.
Yeah, I think that may be something I'll look into, just because I do. I mean, I don't spend a ton on whatnot, but enough that being able to do it tax free, especially if I could get it set up through, buying bulk bags and boards would be really nice as well.
You understand though that your taxes, the money that you pay in taxes, you can then deduct all that, right?
I do understand that, but it would also be nice to not have to I mean, having that money immediately available versus being able to write it off at the end of the year, I feel like would be more beneficial for me, especially because my sales numbers are a lot lower, I think, than a lot of other people in the stream right now. So being able to have that money immediately versus taking away my tax liability at the end of the year would be a little more beneficial.
Take a look at Comic
What's the
Pro
sales
Line.
tax rate in your state?
6%.
All right, same as here. So you're going to save $6 up front for every 100 you spend. Do you plan on spending exorbitant amounts of money on inventory and supplies?
Not an exorbitant amount, but I feel like any money I could save up front would be more beneficial than.
I get that, but again, I'm just looking at it. It's $6 per 100 spent out of your capital. So you have to, if it's a $60 fee, you have to spend $1,000 a year to save that 6% up front.
Yeah, I mean, to be realistic, you really need to weigh the pros and the cons in order to figure out if it's a good fit for you.
And I can tell you right now, in Pennsylvania, I was looking into an LLC when I first started this. There is a bunch of stuff if you decide to leave and do something that you have to do. Like you have to close the business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fine details you should read into it. It's not just the fees up front.
Yeah. The one thing though that I would say, Paul City, is look at Comic Pro Line. They're in Canada. You won't pay the taxes, and most of the bags and the boards you won't pay. What do you call import fees or whatever, tariffs, and over $100 is free shipping. And in my opinion, I think they're better than BCW.
Oh, they're 100 times better. I would never use another bag but Comic Pro Line.
I'm already on that boat. That's all. I can't sing their praises enough to other sellers I personally know that are still buying BCW. They're 50% cheaper. The quality is 100 times better. They present as well as any Mylar I've seen.
Well, they're in between a Mylar and a regular bag. That's the reason.
Yeah, they are good. Chris and his dad are awesome. They're 40 minutes from me. So
yeah, and I also talked to them about doing retail wholesale from them, and it's not that much to do to get.
Now, don't get me wrong. You have to get a LLC through an attorney and stuff like that to do the paperwork, correct?
No.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought I read something about that here. What I'm saying
Some
is you
states
can,
you do. Some states you do.
yeah, some states you do. You could always call an attorney and get a free consultation and just get that information, which you ask the questions that you need to ask.
How'd you get on the bottom, man? You're on the bottom of my screen now.
he got he left. for
Oh,
us.
Flat always tries to be superior and shit like
Oh,
that. That's fine.
shut
He
up.
always trying to act like that because he almost got ran over one time.
Yeah, the guy tries to run me over with his truck. It's
Fall
like,
City Comics, my suggestion to you is do a little research on the LLCs. Go on the internet, go to Google, type in LLC for your state. It'll give you so many things that you can look at and read it. And, and I'm going to tell you right now, the research that I've done in the last 2 years, Zen Business is the cheapest out there.
oh
to
yeah,
get an
for
LLC
stuff.
set up.
Okay. Yeah, I've looked into what it takes to actually set one up in Kentucky where I am, and it's I'm sure it's way more complicated, but it looks like it was basically a form you fill out and then you just send it in. But there's no way the government can make anything that simple. So I'm sure there's 47 other hoops I have to jump through in order to actually make it occur.
27 pages you got to fill out when you do it through the government, through your state.
Yeah, one form is a full scroll or a ream of paper, I'm sure.
Yes, if you do it through Zen Business or one of those other ones, it may cost you a little bit more, but they do everything for you. They send everything in, they ship everything to you. The only thing is you got to make sure that you got all your ducks in a row.
There's one thing. Again, I'm going by Canadian law, but I'm assuming it's probably the same in United States law. Is when you do an LLC, you've got to get your minutes and whatever for every single year. You've got to make sure that that's taken care of. That that if you come get audited, all that has to be done and has to be shown.
And products of incorporate. I mean, there's so many things you got to do. Some type of what is it? I forgot what it's called. Oh damn!
Well, there's articles of incorporation. You also have to get
incorporation. You got to do also, but they do all that for you. That's why I wouldn't go through the state to do it on your own.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be worth the extra fees to make sure it's done right versus me, Googling how to do it and then hoping and also praying that it's right and whatever.
Be aware that when you do go through it, read everything that they're offering you, because you don't need everything that they're offering you, because it'll cost you a lot more money if you keep on checking the yes button.
Has anyone done the cost analysis after they've set up their LLC to see if it worked for them, especially with your old sales numbers, which are, I don't know if whoever has an LLC has realized it's been beneficial. Or if there's a certain, like threshold, like I need to do, purchase this X amount of dollars and spend, sell X amount of dollars before it became worth it for me.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, the research that I've done for myself and what I want to do with the LLC, it's going to be beneficial for me because I'm going to be getting stuff that I can't get without an LLC. Okay.
And for you, that's being able to sell new books, like get distributions through like Lunar or whoever.
Lunar and PRH.
This is what I'm going to say about this is, where do you want to be in 3 years? What do you need to get there? If you need the LLC,
I don't want to be in an assisted living house or anything like that. I'll tell you right now.
But what I'm saying is, if you want to be here in the next 2 to 3 years, or even in a year, and it's going to take the LLC to get you to where you want to be, then absolutely. No questions asked. Pros and cons. There's what I need to get where I want to be. If you don't think that you really need it and you can find other avenues and find other resources to get those new books, to get those things that you need without going through the LLC, there's the other option.
Hey, look, I mean, if I'm going to do it and you want to get new books, I offer every seller cost. What it costs me to get new books.
I got multiple connections with new books. If I want anything that's coming out new, I don't have to go through all that. I just give them a call and go, I want this, and this. Done.
and it's cost. I do it right now with somebody else, but things happen with other people that that is not controllable by you. So, I mean, like I said, really do some research. It's not going to take you long to do the research. And you could actually call Zen Business and you can get a consultation from them before you even do anything.
Okay, yeah, I feel like for me, my goals aren't so much I'd be happy. I've been collecting for so long. I'd be happy if I could break even with buying books. But one of my main goals is to try to bring. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. If y'all know where that is, my main goal is to try to bring this comic community something else. Like I've already lined up and a brewery in town to let me, host an event there to get people together just to hang out and talk about books and have a drink if they so choose. But the goal is to get eventually a con back in the city because we haven't had one in so long. So my main goal is for a community boost, and I wonder if I'm going to do that eventually, of have that LLC, because I would have other avenues, not so much just selling, but other things of that nature. If that would be any benefit to me, having an LLC to, if I'm
But
putting on events or whatever in town.
what I'm going to say to you again is, like you said, you need to do the work in order to, progress. I say do the work in your research and weigh the pros and cons of what you're going to do and what it's going to do for you, what it won't do for you.
Another outlet that you might want to consider is doing exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
As probably the well, I know Joey has an exclusive. I know Skippin has an exclusive. And I can tell you right now, exclusives can make a world of difference.
Now, when you say exclusives, do you mean like an exclusive variant of a book?
Well, Punisher,
I'm actually a creator.
I'm a creator also. I wrote my own book. I lettered my own book. I had somebody do the interior and somebody do the covers.
So you can get connected basically with an independent artist and have your brand have. First of all, I think you should have a logo. Do you have a logo that you, as you can see, like Joey's or Soder's or Lion? Get yourself a logo, set yourself up a brand, and reach out to artists and get them to make your own book. Say, look, I want a cover of this. You can let them do it, or you can come up with ideas yourself. There's tons of ways to hit exclusives.
Yes, tons.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think if I was able to get a bigger following in the city as far as going towards like an event, having an exclusive that I could have at said event, like an event exclusive or con exclusive, would be really cool.
Well, if you ever interested, I could always get you in touch with some people.
Okay. Well, awesome show, guys. We've gone past the 2 hour mark. I try not to do much past. Let's start going around the horn. Say where you're at, where people can find you, where you are on the socials, and so everyone know that listens to it even after. So we'll start with Skipping Stones.
Thank you for letting me be on again. I appreciate that. You can find me. I'm not a social media person, but you can find me on Whatnot Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do have what Punisher alluded to is exclusive. Me and Surtur put together a coloring book, comic book themed, with some of Surtur's original work. That's going to be dropping probably the week after next because he's got to ship it to me. And so if you like to color or you just like Surtur's work and you want something very fun and unique, I've got a drop for you guys. And besides that, welcome in. Come on in, hang out, enjoy the show. I've got comics from 30 years ago that, and longer, more than 30 years ago, that are many dead stock, much dead stock. Some of them have been trade-ins, but that were from my family's collection, from their 3 comic book stores, up to 3 stores at one time. And I'd love to have you join.
Nice. Joey, where can they find you?
Okay, so you can find me on Whatnot. I have multiple shows. I've set up multiple shows all through March already that I change, because that's the one thing that you can do is have a lot of shows set up so that you can change your shows according to when you're going to do them, delete them, and just whatever you do. So you can find me on Whatnot, Joey DWW1. Okay. You can find me on Instagram, same name, TikTok, same name, and under Facebook, it's Joe's Garage Comics. I sell everything. I have foreign books. I have modern books. I really don't delve into slabs unless they come my way. And, I relatively sell at great prices. So, I mean, you can get deals galore from me. And if you ever need help with anything, my show is available every Thursday. I usually go on at 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern time. You could come in, you could ask any questions. I don't tell you how to do it. I actually show you how to do it.
Nice. Falls City.
So I'm on Whatnot, of course. Right now it's EM Walt, WALT _ Fall City Comics. But if you just look up Fall City Comics, I doubt you're going to find anyone but me. Same name, Falls City Comics on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and eBay. I try to bring the community together. And, I'm fairly active on Instagram as far as posting books, reels, all kinds of things. So that's where you can really find me. And Joey, you've actually helped me a lot figure out how to do shipping. So I do appreciate those shows. And I would say any new seller definitely should check out the how-to shows that you put on, because they're a treat to the community. And I can definitely say that this community and being able to be part of this podcast, it's almost surreal after collecting as long as I have, knowing that you can be accepted by so many people so quickly.
Cool. Yep. Awesome. Mr. Lionskeep.
Hey, along with everybody else, catch me on Whatnot, Monday, 7:15. This coming Monday, Silver Age X-Men, all starting at $5. And I've got a whole bunch of heat all the way through March.
Way to go, buddy.
Nice. Nice and short. Mr. Soder Pop Comics.
Hey, you can find us on Whatnot. We do our shows Sunday, noon Central, and Tuesday night is trivia. That's at like 6:15 Central. It's a great time. Soderpop _ comics. We've been on for about a little over 2 years now, and we got a 5-star rating, less than 1 day ship, and just under 15,000 items sold. So that's pretty cool. 5-star review, like I said. Hop in. All of our shows are pre-built. So you can go into the auction tab and see what every book is going to be ran in that show. Makes it easier. Great variety. Price points from $3 books all the way up to $50 books, but they usually start at $3 or less. You can find me on Instagram, rick.solder.mn, and Facebook, Rick Solder.
Mr. Punisher.
Oh, I got to leave now.
Oh,
Well, I am
okay,
Punisher
Joey,
Rider.
thank you for coming, man.
No,
First of all,
I'm only kidding.
I'd like to say it was nice to meet Fall City and Lionskeep. Thank you guys for coming on. For Skipping Stones, Joey and Soder, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate you guys more than anything. The community we built, the communication we have. Whenever one of us is down or one of us is doing something, we all support each other, and we always have. And it's been really special. Flat Earth, I'm not going to talk shit about you. I talk to you almost every day, and you've been a great friend, and you have taught me a lot from a guy that had only 50 comic books when I started this journey into having 20 plus exclusives. It's been a hell of an adventure, and I'm excited to help everyone. Anybody that truly knows me, I am always there for them whenever they need me. I always appreciate their support. Punisher, I do not recommend doing what I do and just show up randomly once a month or whenever. But when I do show up, you know it's going to be a hell of a ride. And I can tell you that me and Surtur have got another major project in the works. And we think it's going to even be more crazier than our huge blind bag drop. So, yes. And we are always working every day. This past weekend, I had my second exclusive with Hole in One, and in less than 2 hours, it was gone. And it was just surreal that I haven't been on in over a month, and all the love and support, and skipping being on late at night, waking up early in the morning to set up a show to raid into me, Soder always being there, Joey always being there, and a ton of other people. This community is amazing, and I thank each and every one of you. Everybody in the chat, Zilla, and all the people in the chat, you guys are also amazing. You guys coming here watching us, whether you're going to sell or not. It's great. I think Flat has made a great thing for people like us to come on and help everyone. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I wish the best for every one of you.
I got
Love it,
one more
brother.
thing. One more thing. Flat Earth Santa, I really appreciate the invite. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun and learned a few things here and there. And very nice meeting everybody else. Skipping Stones, Soda Pop, Lions Keep, Fall City, Punisher. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you want me to come back, just let me know.
Everybody is more than welcome every single week. I say it. I there is no problems with it. Um, we just have to, when we're getting a little bit with a bunch of people, we're going to have to get a little bit more structured. Is all. Just to try to keep it under the 2 hours, just to make it easier for people to listen to on replays and stuff. Mine specifically, I do a show, bragging rights, every Monday nights. Uh, Three people come on, they show the books they got in the last week. The chat gets to decide who wins. It's a knockdown, drag out, cool ass show because there is some amazing fire books when people come on, and I mean real fire books. And it's a knockdown, drag out um, fight every single week. Um, Love the show. Love doing this show. Love helping the community. Um, I may not sell as much as I used to, and mine's a little bit different. As Punisher said, don't take what I do uh, anyway, because I'm totally different. I've got a different clientele. I've got different stuff. Um, and of course, Guess the Great, uh, where we show 5 books once a month that I'm going to send out to CGC, high res camera. Everyone gets to say what they think it's going to be, and when it comes back, you get points, and you get to possibly win a cool slab at the end of the year. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to the panel. Thank you for all coming on. Skipping Stones, always a pleasure. Joey, thank you again for coming on. Ricky, you're awesome, dude. You're my brother.
Love you, brother.
Lions Keep, dude. You're awesome. You're my favorite now of the New Jersey crew.
Considering you live in DC, that's an honor.
Fall City, it's awesome, dude. I'm glad we've got a new perspective on the channel from a new type seller. And Punisher Rider, I won't bust on you, dude. You're a good dude. I always say it. I when the chips are down, if Punisher's not there, uh, something's up because he'll be there to make sure things are done right, things are done, and to help you out as best he can
All
in
right.
any way he can.
One more thing I got. If anybody ever wants to do a raid party, we do raid parties once in a while. We don't call them raid trains. We do raid parties because they're family parties. So if you ever want to get in on it and we're doing one, just let me know.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you again, everybody. We're going to play everybody out. For those that want to stay after in the backstage, you're more than welcome. If not, have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week on Whatnot, Why Not.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
What's up? I was on a show.
Trading my soul for
Oh, YouTube show.
whatnot.